Have you ever been people watching, maybe seeing different couples or hearing dating stories, and you just start thinking, okay, what's really going on there? What's the motivation behind how people connect?
Absolutely. It's fascinating. And today we're actually going to take a deep dive into, well, a pretty interesting way to look at some of those dynamics.
Yeah, we're exploring something called gold digger profiles by caller types.
Right. We've got some source material that uh, humorously categorizes certain behaviors in relationships, specifically looking at potential financial angles based on professional backgrounds. It's quite a unique lens.
Exactly. It's definitely presented with a bit of humor, less about judging and more about, pattern recognition maybe. Our sources lay out these archetypes by job collar: white, blue, new, pink, gold, even gray collar.
Uh-huh. And we're going to unpack the supposed traits, the tactics, the targets for each one.
The goal really is just to offer a kind of framework, something to think about when observing social dynamics. It's meant to be, well, engaging and maybe give you some food for thought.
Think of it as adding a few unusual categories to your mental toolkit for understanding relationships.
Okay, so let's jump in. First up, the white collar profile. Now, according to our material, the targets here are often executives, managers, professionals, basically.
Yeah, the high earners in traditional corporate or professional roles.
So what are the key traits or tactics mentioned here?
Well, the sources emphasize a certain sophistication. They suggest these individuals were often educated, polished, really savvy about networking.
Polished, right.
Yeah, and projecting success is key. So you might hear like name dropping of expensive brands or conversations kept very professional, but subtly steering towards status or compensation.
Okay, so it's subtle. We have some example pitches here, like, I really admire your career trajectory, and swapping stocks over champagne sounds perfect. That's quite specific.
It is. Or another one. I love a man who's passionate about his career and invests in his future and mine. It frames it as ambition,
Hmm.
shared ambition almost.
Right, aligning with their target's drive.
And the red flags mentioned. A constant focus on finances, obviously.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit of one-upmanship about status symbols. And the classic, perhaps conveniently forgetting the wallet on dates.
Ah, the wallet test. Okay.
It's presented as a way to gauge generosity or financial standing early on.
All right, let's pivot. Blue collar profile next. The sources say this targets skilled tradespeople, think oil rig workers, successful contractors, maybe union workers with good pay.
Yeah, people who often earn a very good income through skilled labor, maybe not in a typical office setting.
So how does this approach differ from the white collar one?
It seems generally more direct, less about subtle status signaling and more about appealing to maybe traditional values, things like loyalty, domesticity, providing.
Okay, so less champagne stock talk, more.
More homespun warmth, perhaps? The sources mention emphasizing things like hard work, family values, maybe talking about fixing up a house together, creating that cozy domestic picture quite quickly.
That makes sense. The example pitches fit that. Nothing sexier than a man who works with his hands and provides for his family.
Right. Or, I just want a hardworking man who knows how to take care of his woman. It's a very clear appeal.
And the red flags here, also more direct.
Seems like it. Maybe quick talk about marriage and combining finances. Or pressure to buy things, tools, items for the home, framed as, investing in our future together.
Got it. Okay, interesting contrast. Now, into the modern age, the new collar profile. Targets here are tech folks, right? Coders, startup founders, remote workers, maybe even crypto people.
Exactly. The self-made tech and digital nomad crowd. It's a different kind of wealth, often more flexible, less traditional.
So the tactics would have to be different too, I imagine.
Definitely. The material suggests they're very tech-savvy themselves, using online platforms, maybe sliding into DMs, talking about synergy.
Synergy, okay.
Yeah, and leveraging online communities. There's this idea of co-creating side hustles or shared passions, maybe NFTs or a startup idea that become relationship projects.
Oh, merging business and romance directly. The examples are spot on. Let's build the next big app, half love affair, half hackathon.
Or, you code, I create content together, we'll travel the world. It taps into that entrepreneurial, location-independent dream.
So the red flags might be getting pitched constantly.
Kind of. Maybe constant recruitment into new ventures where you're putting in the resources or leveraging your platform for their growth, but their own skin in the game is unclear. Co-working dates that feel more like investor meetings.
Right. Okay, that's the new collar. Let's move to the pink collar profile. Our sources say this often targets people in caring professions, nurses, teachers, social workers.
Yeah, people often perceived as highly empathetic and potentially emotionally available earners.
And the approach here seems, well, different again, more emotional.
That's what the sources suggest. Less about status or projects, more about emotional manipulation, potentially, playing on empathy, guilt, that caretaking instinct,
How so?
by crafting narratives of being fragile or in crisis, needing rescue, lots of sharing sob stories, maybe, creating a dynamic of gratitude dependency where they attribute all their success or well-being to the partner.
Wow, the pitches reflect that. After what I've been through, all I really need is someone to take care of me.
Or, I've been through a lot. I just need someone to heal me. It pulls on the heartstrings, positions them as needing care.
And potential red flags would be?
Maybe emotional crises that conveniently pop up when bills are due, or an expectation of being constantly mothered or fathered without much reciprocity in terms of support.
Okay, heavy stuff, potentially. Now, scaling up significantly, the gold collar profile. Targets. The ultra-rich.
Yeah.
Investors, heirs, VCs, hedge fund managers.
The elite. This is about navigating very exclusive circles.
So the tactics must be top tier.
Extremely calculated, according to the material. Highly image conscious. It's about moving seamlessly in those spaces, private clubs, yacht events, charity galas, speaking luxury fluently.
Like it's a language.
Exactly. They might hint at philanthropic interests, maybe matching gifts, giving it a veneer of altruism. Inviting you to exclusive events is a key tactic mentioned.
And the example pitches sound suitably high-flying. A weekend at my villa in St. Bart's, I'll arrange the jet.
Or, private jets and philanthropy. You sound like my type. It's about immediately signaling alignment with that lifestyle.
Red flags here seem maybe harder to spot amidst all the glitter.
Perhaps. But one mentioned is getting those invitations to VIP events very early before a real personal connection is established. It might suggest your value is seen in your access or wealth, not you as a person. Also, potentially, very early talk about prenuptial agreements.
Ah, practicalities even at that level.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one more. The gray collar profile. This one targets high-earning freelancers, gig workers like top rideshare drivers, successful delivery couriers, maybe Etsy sellers doing well.
Right, people with flexible, often project-based or hustle-based incomes, which can still be quite substantial but maybe less predictable.
And the approach, the material calls it a mix of charm and hustle.
Yeah, embracing that side gig culture talk. They might position you as the supportive partner, maybe even the angel investor needed for their next leap, or to smooth out income fluctuations.
It sounds more grounded. The example pitch is, between Uber and my Etsy shop, I just need a little cushion.
It does sound relatable. But the potential red flags are important. Constant money emergencies, despite claiming they're doing well. Or directly asking for loans for business expenses.
Okay, so that covers the 6 types from our sources. It's quite a range of alleged strategies.
It is, and again, presented somewhat tongue-in-cheek, but highlighting potential patterns.
So if someone's listening and thinking, how would I even spot this? What are the general takeaways from the sources on recognizing these kinds of dynamics?
Well, a big one is listening for patterns. Do conversations always seem to circle back to your job, your income, your assets? That consistency is key.
Right, not just a one-off comment.
Exactly. And watch for that one-upmanship or excessive name-dropping, especially early on, or making grand promises about exclusive access or perks before they really know you.
Okay, so pay attention to the conversational themes and the timing of certain offers or discussions. What about responding? If you suspect something like this, what did the sources suggest?
Setting boundaries is crucial. If dates always seem to revolve around spending your money, try suggesting low-cost or free activities. See how they react.
That could be revealing.
Definitely. And probably the most important thing is looking for reciprocity. Is there a give and take? Are they contributing to the relationship in non-financial ways? Is there emotional support? Shared effort.
Yeah, healthy relationships need that balance, don't they? Can't feel like a one-way street financially or emotionally.
Precisely. If it consistently feels unbalanced, that's a major, major point to consider, regardless of any specific profile.
So wrapping this up, this whole exploration of gold digger profiles by collar types, while maybe a bit provocative and humorous in its presentation, it really just offers a framework, doesn't it? A way to think critically about potential motivations you might encounter. It encourages more awareness.
Exactly. And we have to stress, these are illustrative categories from our sources, designed to make you think, not to slap definitive labels on actual people. Life's way more complex than that.
For sure. It's more about sharpening your observation skills, maybe.
Right. Understanding the potential for transactional elements in some interactions.
So here's a thought for you, our listener, to mull over. How might understanding these kinds of potential dynamics, even in the somewhat stylized way, help you navigate your own relationships? Could it help you better tell the difference between a genuine connection and something, well, something more transactional?
It prompts that question about balance, doesn't it? The give and take. Maybe think about that in your own connections. Did any of these descriptions um, resonate with anything you've seen or experienced? You don't have to label anyone, of course.
Just food for thought.
Exactly. It's all just part of the ongoing process of figuring out the very complex world of human interaction and relationships.